We are with Al in Southington, and he is one of our community members, having a volunteer come and help him around the house. Is that right?
Yeah, and I went from driving to not driving in one day. But the stroke, it seemed so minimal because I was driving up the street here in Southington, and I was going to Stop and Shop right on Route 10, and I felt crackle in my head, like in my eyes, like crackle up here. And I thought, what the heck was that? And I immediately turned into the exit ramp of Stop and Shop to go in because I lost all my sight over here in both eyes. You can lose it in one eye and still be able. I lost it in both eyes, so I have nothing over here. And so I didn't see the entrance. I went in the exit, and thank God nobody was coming out. But then I thought, wait a minute, what the heck just happened? And so thusly, I went to the doctor, and I had suffered a stroke.
Wow.
And but it wasn't one of those debilitating. Well, it is, but not. I can use my appendages. My hands were my thing. I had the strongest hands because in the 1970s, from 71 to 80, I owned a concrete shop. Go to Bread for Life every day, every weekday, for lunch. Wonderful service, wonderful people, and one heck of a chef that works there. Good food. But it's good for the community, the people who, for whatever reason, are disabled or just need a hand up. And myself, I never thought, through my lifetime, the things I've done, that I would be needing a soup kitchen. But what happened to me was I went from Southington to Washington, Connecticut, Litchfield, then to Washington, and then from Washington I moved up to Salisbury in a 34-year period. And being out of town for that long, I moved back to town when I retired and suffered a stroke 2 weeks after I moved back. And it didn't take away my hands or my feet. I could walk. But what it did was it took away my vision to the right-hand side, so I could no longer drive, and it took away my short-term memory, which may end up impeding us here in this, and it may not. But anyhow, so I was in Southington. I was living with my cousin, and but I knew I couldn't stay with him because I had moved in with him so I could help him around. He was diabetic and disabled as well. So I signed up for town housing, and about maybe 2 months later, I got a call that they'd had a place, and I moved in. Kind of small. I'm used to big spaces, but it's definitely affordable for people who need it. A lot of seniors here, good people. I signed up for Bread for Life after trying to do my own cooking and whatnot, and slowly I'm physically I'm not going downhill on a speedy sled, but you lose well, like I said, I was losing the feel and touch in my hands, and it was harder for me to cook meals. So Bread for Life offered me that one thing, afforded me that one meal every day. And all I had to do was make cold plates, sandwiches, and things like that. And where was I?
And that's where you found out about your community cares?
Oh,
at
then
Bread
yes.
for Life?
So I was at Bread for Life, and I was having a hard time with this little apartment, but I can't do anything. I fall in a matter of a millisecond. I'm gone. If I don't have, they want me to use a walker, but I use a cane, and I'm good with the cane. I have fallen a few times, but I was going to Bread for Life, and I met some nice people. They're all very down and out, but they're nice people, and it's good meals. And one day at Bread for Life, again, I was saying I got behind in here because I can't really do anything. My niece helped me before the pandemic. Once the pandemic hit, she didn't come here. Now that the pandemic is over, she's got other things in her life and she can't. So one day on the table at Bread for Life, there was this card. It wasn't a card, it was like a postcard, and it was similar to this. Community Cares. What does UR stand for?
You are, meaning you are part of your
Oh,
own.
you are, meaning me.
Yes,
Oh,
you are
okay.
part
You
of
are
your
Community
own
Cares.
community.
Well, so the card was there, and I waited a couple of months, even a few months, I think.
I think Missy
Before-
called me about you.
Did she?
She said,
Yeah.
did Al call you yet? Because we donate
So-
to Bread for Life. So
Oh,
I
really?
bring down food from Manchester on a monthly basis so that we can try to help with the food
Oh,
insecurities.
that's great.
in
But you know what? It is so, because there are so many people, and again, financially, I'm destitute really by most people's standards. But you know, some of the people that go there, I mean, they don't. Every once in a while, I mean, I have no money, but I'll take a $10 bill out and give it to one of the ones that's out of money halfway through the month, so they can do, you know, something. I feel sorry for people who have needs and they can't, no matter how bad it is, and they can't, you know, get things for themselves. So, but they're all good people, and we get great meals. I mean, wow.
The chef is fabulous.
Yes, he is, Bobby.
So you found out about your community cares.
Right. So
And you called us.
I called you, right? And I thought,
We sent you a flyer.
yes, you sent me a flyer, and I thought, wow, this is something. Reading all of the different things that the organization does, and I think the best thing that could have happened is that you sent me someone who was just starting out with you folks, instead of someone that has been there maybe a year, 2 years, or however long, because, you know, we grew together. In other words, I grew into having someone like her, because this is so foreign to me, having someone work for me without paying them. I mean, it's so foreign to what I did in my past, the things I did in my past life. But, you know, I'm embarrassed to say sometimes, but the truth is the truth. You have to live with the truth. And so, but the fact that she came in here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed with no agenda. Okay, I'm going to come in, I'm going to do this first, I'm going to do that, and you know, she wanted to know what I wanted and needed, and I wanted to know what she wanted. And so we kind of grew together, and it hasn't been that long, only what, a few months, a couple months? Yeah, a few months. Whatever it is, so we're both learning right now, and she's so good at what she does. So good at what she does. And she, you can edit this out if you want, but she brings me food.
That's
She
okay.
brings me meals.
That's great.
She brought me a fabulous, and it's the littlest thing she ever brought me, but it was the best, beet salad with not tangerine.
Oranges.
Yeah, was it?
Oranges.
Yeah, with orange and orange zest. Oh, boy, was it good.
I gotta keep you healthy.
I know, but I'm saying, then she brought me a beautiful meal of the chicken thighs
Chicken
with
with
the
vegetables.
lemon vegetables and lemon. Oh, she's phenomenal. And so she's generous, I'm generous. I've always been a generous soul. You know, when I worked for Bill Blass, I made a lot of money. I spent a lot of money. But what I also did was, I had people in the community, you may not want to hear this, but you're going to, you can edit it, in the community that would let me know about families that were needy, like kids that weren't getting clothes for school, and I would buy them the clothes, or I would get them what they needed. Clandestinely. I never, ever wanted my name used. I wasn't a healthy person back when I was younger. I was a big partier. I mean, big partier in my young adult years, and I like to drink. I don't drink any longer since the stroke, but, you know, beer. I mean, I was a beer drinker, but, you know, I didn't save. My parents, my father died at 62, my mother at 65. I thought, you know, how long am I going to live? I never thought I'd be 73, you know, and here I am, you know, but unfortunately, when I came down here, I was going to get a little part-time job to supplement Social Security, be perfect, and well, we all know where that went. But people like this lady right here, I don't know how any of them are. I have no way to judge her compared to someone else. But if they're like anything like this young lady, number one, she's very, very thoughtful. Number two, she's always happy. You know, I mean, I've never seen her in a not a foul mood, but I've never seen her negative about anything. You know, you see people, they drop something, you know, nothing. So, you know, I'm very happy and I feel very lucky. And if you try to take her away from me, it's the worst thing you could do. No, but seriously, we get along famously, and I just hope she feels the same way about me that I feel about her, because you have to have a match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what the funding that we receive from the Main Street Community Foundation allows us to enroll people like you that need a little bit of assistance around the house to stay independent at home.
Right.
And that matches the people with volunteers that want to provide that assistance. And so we're grateful for the funding from the Main Street Community
You know,
Foundation.
I mean, I feel like I hit the lottery because here I am. You know, it's my first. It's not like I've been doing this for several years or years, and all of a sudden, you know, Jane moved to Oshkosh, and I have to get somebody new. You know, this is a first for both of us. We're both babes in the woods, you know, and I really truly feel that it's kismet. I really do. Do you know what kismet means?
Yeah.
So I do. How do you feel? You must feel the same way somewhat.
Well, I come back, don't I?
You do come back. Well, that's my magnetism, you know. I didn't use the word animal. No, but I'm just saying, it's, you know, when two people get along, you don't have to be best friends. When you get along. This organization, this Community Cares, has been the best thing, and I'm in my infancy. I plan on being a big pain in the neck to you with, you know, getting services for myself, because I don't know all of them, but I do know how much you care.
And,
You know, and
people that don't have a computer like you
Right.
can call us
Yes.
to get signed up.
And I must say that if you need any kind of help, you need to give these folks a call, because, you know, I'm just meeting this girl for the first time today. But the organization I've known about, and who's the other girl?
Bushra?
Bushra, I can't wait to meet her. I've been on the phone with her, you know, a myriad of times, and she seems like such an absolutely wonderful lady.
She is great.
And,
she helps with all the scheduling for people
Right,
that
right.
don't have the technology.
And she's very good at it. She's very good at it.
So we're grateful that you called us and you took a chance on getting some help, because we know that wasn't
Right.
the norm for you.
No, right.
And I think
and I'm grateful that you were there. I mean, and so many people could use this, because I run into, now being in the world I live in, my apartment, I don't want to use the word disgusting, but it was bad. 2 years of, you know, just trying myself to do things. I keep my bathroom clean, right?
You do.
Toilet and things that I can reach. But I try to, I mean, in my kitchen, everything was not only,
piled up.
I don't want it piled up. Piled up is the word. And this young lady has cleaned all this. She hasn't really had a chance to show herself with a general, like this room here still needs to be, have it. She's been doing room by room, a deep cleaning. So she hasn't done this room yet. She's done the kitchen, which still needs some. She hasn't been in the refrigerator yet. And because we're doing it slow. I don't want her to feel overworked. And I told her that. She you know, I mean, I want her to think this is going to be a light housekeeping job, and it is. Because once she's here, I think every couple weeks. That's all I think we need. Once it's clean, I'm not the dirtiest person in the world, but if you don't clean your place and you live in it for 2 years, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, things
So,
get
right.
unorganized.
Oh, so. But the one thing I can't do is balance my checkbook. I can't balance my checking account. My brain is so, several things. I can't, so I get help with that, with my niece, with the, she looks at my statements every 3 months. We've already talked about, her helping me maybe, 2-3 times a month to the grocery store, maybe once a week. I don't know. I mean, now that, I've been begging and borrowing for rides since Gloria. Now it's been, almost 4 months now that she's been in rehab. And she may not, they don't know if she's going to be able to drive when she gets out. Well, in close, all I can say is what I know about this organization, and I'm going to know much more than I already know, but I know enough to understand that the number one thing that means anything to you as a person, but also as an organization, is to help people that need help. And Bushra, I mean, just an unbelievable young lady. She's not a young lady, is she? Or is she? We won't talk about that. But she's just so wonderful on the phone, but she's so accommodating, You don't want to talk to people who make you feel like, yeah, I'm doing this for you, but come on, huh? Can you hurry it up? Or, you know what I mean? And there are people out there like that. So you have to be a bit sympathetic to people whose lives are kind of, as I call it, in the toilet. And that's, that's kind of a rough way to describe it, but it's hard. And to help, the help that I'm getting, and again, I only know what she can do for me, but I also know what she's going to do for me, in my mind and in my heart, because I've gotten to know her enough to understand what kind of a person she is, and she's the best of the best. As you know, I was in business myself. I worked for Glass, and I did everything immediately. And if you don't want to wait, you do not use the buses. I'd have ice cream melt by the time the bus came and picked me up at the grocery store. And that's nothing against them. They take people everywhere. I mean, I used it and it was okay. I prefer not to. Don't get me wrong. I would if I had to. But I like this, having someone who has the willingness and the wherewithal to help somebody like me. I mean, you don't know what that means.
It will make me cry.
Yeah, I'm almost crying. I'm making myself cry. But the fact is, I never thought I'd be like this, and when I'm still tiptoeing. I tell you right now, knowing her and all she's done for me in the past couple of months, and we're just getting started. She is I'm not good at what she does. She is great at what she does, and that is being a helper, being a friend. So I have this friend, Gloria Caballero, who I am going to introduce to you. She had back surgery and had some complications, and she's in what town is she in? Bristol, in rehab, and she's been in for a few months now. She had some setbacks, and she's doing so wonderfully. She's going to come back, but Gloria and I are besties. Best friends. There's no love connection, nothing. She is just a wonderful person. We're the same, but she's a year younger than me. And she would come down here and she would sit on one of those wooden chairs over here. Every day we'd go to Bread for Life. She drives, so she would drive me everywhere I needed to go. Mm-hmm. And I would do things for her. I made dinners, whether it be sandwiches. Am I getting long-winded?
No.
Okay. Sandwiches, or she did for me, I did for her. Mm-hmm. And we would watch all the favorite TV shows. Now you want to hear another story? That's the same. It's the same line, along the same line. We watch TV together still. She's over in Bristol, and I'm here, and we get on the phone, and because we have all our favorite shows, like on Monday night, there's 2 shows, Bob Hart's Abbott Show, and there's another one. Then there's 3 of them on Thursdays, Sheldon and a couple others. My memory is so bad. And we, on the phone, we listen, watch them, but unfortunately, her provider is like 20 to 30 seconds ahead of mine, so she's seeing everything 20 seconds.
Oh.
So we have to watch it, and then when the show is over, we
Yeah.
call each other and we talk about it.
Mm.
And this keeps her, because instead of being laying there, she doesn't lay there, but I'm saying being stuck over there, and they have plenty of activities and whatnot, but it gives her that interaction with me and me with her. And I go see her two times a week, 3 times
Oh,
a
that's
week.
nice.
I have friends that bring me over, and it's hard because when you don't drive, people don't realize how hard it is. I'll never forget one of the guys that lives here, Joe Capola, his name is, wonderful fella, and he kept saying to me, "Oh, come on, Al, it can't be that bad," not being able to drive. I said, "Joe, I'm telling you." Well, he had cataract surgery, one eye and then the other eye, and he didn't drive. I think it was at least 12 weeks, between all the surgeries and the downtime. He came to me, he says, "Al, I apologize." He said, "I knew I was going to be able to drive in however many weeks." He said, and I was miserable, absolutely miserable.
Here's it, that these are volunteers.
And that's, yes.
They've decided that they were going to devote some time, service-oriented folks that want to give back to the community, and that's really what this is all about.
Well, that's exactly it, and that's what I just couldn't believe, because I can't afford it. I can't afford to pay a housekeeper on Social Security. Even though I get things like those meals, and it's this world we live in is cruel.
Yep.
When it comes
the expense of groceries, I mean,
Right.
everything is going up. So to be able to pay for
Exactly. Yeah.
assistance, it's
Yeah.
difficult.
Oh no, it'd be almost impossible.